Welcome to Log Furniture How To, the most all-inclusive site on the net for log and rustic furniture, fixtures, and decor. That's logfurnitureHowTo.com. Hey everybody, welcome to the Standalone Carpentry YouTube channel. My name is Scott Schaefer, and today we are going to learn how to apply oil. Danish Oil is my favorite finish to use. I use epoxy on things that need to be protected from hazardous elements such as water glasses and kids with crayons, stuff like that. But otherwise, Danish Oil is a great, it's a lot more natural than most finishes, and it goes on really good and shows really like true colors of the wood. So that's why I use Danish Oil. I'm going to show you how to put it on the right way so that your furniture feels nice and clean and looks good afterwards. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm just going to sand the flat surface with my palm sander and really fine sandpaper, 220 or whatever. And then I'm just going to go over the legs and everything with my 220 sanding pad, hand sander pad. And we're going to apply the oil with a brush. Be very liberal in your application of the oil in the first round, because you do want the oil to penetrate the wood as best you can. The first coat is all about protecting the wood. And make sure you cover every inch, even the bottoms of the feet and places that you're not going to see. Then we're just going to wipe it down with the rag to make sure there's no oil puddling somewhere or any drips. Alright, so the first coat is on, wiped it down. Now I gotta let it dry. If you have a place that you can put it where it's open to outside air, that's best as long as the outside air is warm. But if you have it confined to a garage or to a basement or something, it's best to make sure that it's warm in that room and that you have a fan going to try to air it out a little bit. And you want the oil to dry fast so that it doesn't get too sticky or starts feeling a little grimy if it takes too long for it to dry, because it's a chemical, so it just does weird things if it doesn't dry right away. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna leave my garage door open so it can have plenty of air, and we'll come back in a few hours to do the second coat. Alright, so we're back several hours later. The sun's gone down, so I got some lights set up in here. But it's time to do the second coat of oil on my bar stool here. And there's 3 different ways you can sand in between coats. Sanding in between coats is really important. It's gonna do wonders for the feel of the piece once it's all done. So there's 3 things you can use. There's just regular squares of paper sandpaper. They're cheap and easy to use and disposable, obviously. They fall apart really easily, so I don't like those. I've gotten away from those. The other 2 options, or other options I like, are the drywall sanding pads, and you can get these. These come really fine, or somewhat fine, and they're really easy to hold on to. They're spongy, so they kind of fit around the contours of stuff. These are great. A steel wool pad, not the steel wool that comes in chunks. This is an actual pad, so it won't fall apart. So this is really great, and you can get this on the same aisle, probably on the hook next to these. And it's in the paint section at the hardware store. So I'm going to take my pad. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly go over everything. And now we're not sanding to shape the wood at all. So if you've got scratches or something, major defects in the wood, you probably want to get your bigger sander out and work on those, or a more coarse sandpaper. What I'm doing right now is I'm just getting rid of any kind of surface texture that might have happened when the oil was drying, maybe particles in the air that stuck to it. It can feel a little clammy sometimes after the first coat. So this is just going to clean up that texture that's created from oiling, because that first coat of oil was kind of thick. So we're just getting rid of that. And it's not imperative that you sand everything. Just kind of go over everything that is going to be touched, because what you want to do is you want your customer or your guests to touch the stool in a natural way and be immediately impressed by the way it feels, because it looks very rustic, but it's going to feel like fine furniture, and that's the whole idea. So let's go over everything. That feels pretty good. And make sure that first coat is dry. If it feels a little sticky or wet in some parts, I really recommend waiting and just make sure it's bone dry before you apply the second coat. So otherwise that oil won't really penetrate very well. It just kind of, the second coat really needs to dry fast. So if you have some moisture left over from the first coat, that second coat's going to linger, and that's not good. So, alright, so got it all sanded down. Now instead of brushing on the oil, because I don't want very much oil this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my oil can and I'm just going to brush the cloth. And maybe the top here, the stool seat, I'll get a little bit of extra oil on there, because that really soaks it up. And then we're just going to wipe it down. All you're doing is just wiping it down. And you're not really doing the second coat to help protect the stool. That's why you're not doing a thick coat. The first coat was to protect the stool. That's why we did the thick coat on the first one. This is just to shine it up. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to brush on more oil and keep on going here. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you learned a little something about Danish oil. If you want to see how to do an epoxy finish, you can click on this link right here and that'll take you over to that video. Those videos get into way more depth about finishes that are kind of a step above Danish oil. Please subscribe to the channel and leave comments or questions below the screen. And I thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye. The music you heard in this video was performed by Colorado pianist Lacey Black. To find out more about Lacey, you can visit her website at lacyblack.net or find her on Facebook. Now we've got these little plugs here, and we're gonna go ahead and make these little plugs happy plugs. We're gonna just put a little oil on there because that's what they want. They just want a little bit of oil. Oh yeah, just brush it on, just lightly brush it on. Lots of love, lots of love. Yeah, yes. Happy little plugs. Happy plugs. Look at those happy plugs. Aren't they just happy? Don't they look just so happy?